Gordon with Film Courage, the radio show. We're outside the studio with Dennis Peters and Ross Pruden, and we just had a great interview with Jamie King, and we're talking about Vodo.net and BitTorrenting, and we had one question that we left on the table, and that pertains to the movie Tilt by Phil Holbrook and written by Julie Keck and Jessica King, and we're wondering, what would your approach be with Tilt the movie? Would you try and get it out there on a BitTorrenting site? Would you try and retain that structure and keep it on a site and sell it from there and make sure that no one else had access to it? What would be your method?
Well, I guess the first thing would be is what are the goals for Phil and Julie and Jessica? Do they want to use this as a stepping stone to the next film? Do they have investors who are expecting a return on this film? So those are a couple of things that we would need to think about ahead of time. Since I don't know the answer to that, I'll sort of jump in. For me, the real value of the pirating is as a marketing tool to get the film out there and spread the word. If you don't have a large marketing budget, or in some cases any marketing budget, you have your Twitter followers, your Facebook fans. It's fairly limited. So let's put that out and have people you don't know begin to share the film. And that way it spreads. Now, how do you make any money from that? We've had so many discussions, and I know Ross will talk about this way more than I will, but there isn't any proof necessarily that says the people who are watching your film for free won't then go buy it. So I think that's a fallacy to think you've watched it for free. How many times have you watched the same movie? If I have a movie, I have 3 copies of The Big Lebowski, because they changed some things. Like I will watch films over and over, and I'll buy different copies of it. So I don't think that's necessarily a thing that if it's for free. So I would use Vodo, done it as a marketing tool to spread the word. That's how I would start.
It must be my cue. So yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that you really have to know what the goals are immediately. Is it that you have people that you have to pay back? Is there some sort of capital that needs to be recouped, or is it I really shot this thing for next to nothing, and all I need to do is get the visibility? But really, I mean, my feeling is that the trend, and I'm thinking it 10 years out, 5, 10, 15 years out, the trend is going to be towards free access to content and having a buffet of content like Netflix, where people pay one price and they are able to get any film that they ever want to watch. And if that isn't offered, then it's going to be offered by de facto pirating website. People already have access to almost any film out there that they want to see. So the question about how to make money off of it is, I think, it presupposes that the movie is the thing which you're selling. And I think now we're seeing that that's putting the cart before the horse, because yes, you've made this product, but what is the inherent nature of that product? And that product is copyable over and over and over again. With or without restrictions, someone is going to copy the film and someone is going to release it. So, how do you make money off of something which is infinitely releasable, infinitely distributable, if you want? And the example that I love to go back to is Steam. Steam is a network for games, for PC gamers. And anybody can get any game that they want for free in some sort of pirated website. But people still use Steam. They prefer to use Steam because Steam offers a lot of things that you can't get with pirated software. It offers you the convenience of a fantastic catalog of games. Immediate, so the game downloads immediately to your computer. It's usually very inexpensive. They have lots of sales for games that maybe the game is priced at $10, but then they do these fire sales, these weekend deals where the games are $2. So you've got a massive number of people just buying a game immediately. Now, I think that same model can work, because it makes Steam allows you to talk to other people on their network. So if a friend of mine also uses Steam, if I'm in-game and he's in-game, I can see that he's going into a different game. I'm like, great, well, let's play together. So games are a cooperative thing, so it works well for games. It may not work quite as well for movies, But I think that how to monetize it is Steam adds value to games, which are infinite. They're an infinitely distributable product. But if you add value to that, add a scarce element like convenience, like immediacy, like belonging, like community, like all these things that only the network can offer you, only this added value can offer, then you start making money. And Steam has been enormously successful doing this. So I don't see that there's any reason why someone like Ben Hicks, like that last week, I thought that was a great post, because his logical conclusion was, either we can all be individuals, trying to sell our movies, or we can band together, pool our resources, and effectively do that same thing, but with a group of films, and we have more bargaining power. That's genius. I think that is the direction that it's going. And I think that we're already starting to see things like Mubi and other kind of collectives coming together to do that. So I don't know if that really answers your question.
Well, I love reading your stuff, by the way. It's brilliant. And it's very forward-thinking. I'm going to go back to the specific. I think a lot of people, I'm going to use myself, and I think many people do this, they go to see a film made by a filmmaker. And so it could be an actor, it could be a director, so why do I want to go see that film? Could be the subject matter as well, but it's often the person. So one thing that Phil might be able to do with this film, and Justin does good, is, Julie and Jessica, is to use this to create their reputation. Mm-hmm. So get as big of an audience as you can to watch this film, use that as a stepping stone for lectures, perhaps, around the subject matter, if the subject matter does. And I know they're doing some great stuff for their marketing already, so they've got a big head start on the social media part of this. The Tilt the Town, which is brilliant. So they have things already in place that could be viral. Use this marketing to build brand reputation, so that when Phil does his next film, he's like, I want to see a Phil Holbrook film. Me, I want to see a Stanley Kubrick film, because in this sea of, conservatively, in the last 5 years, 50,000 indie films, how do you stand out? How does your film stand out? And it stands out by saying, I'm going to search for your film. I'm looking for a Phil Holbrook film, as opposed to what might I find today. So I think that's one of the things that I hate the word pirating, but I guess putting it peer-to-peer can do is create that buzz around you as a filmmaker, and so that would be one valuable thing of it. Build your brand reputation, and build a brand around yourself, and now you're selling that, which is what you're mentioning as well. You're not necessarily only selling your film; you're selling a bigger experience. Discover what that experience is. What he may be able to monetize is Tilt the Town. That may be the thing that drives revenue. Think of it that way.
T-shirts, lots of T-shirts.
T-shirts could go that way, but even in terms of how Tilt the Town could end up being something, like Farmville. I mean, who knows where that might go? And think that way, and use the film to launch other things.
See, Kevin Smith has already done this. He's using Red State to tour around the country, and he's already a very popular person. So yes.
And I'm going to interrupt because that's the problem. He's inverted it. If you're famous and do it, it's different.
Yeah, well, he has a larger scale. His films are more expensive.
Right, more expensive. But he built his fan base the traditional way.
Yeah.
Through Miramax Films.
Yeah, sure. But that's not entirely legitimate, because his fan base loves him. They love to interact with him.
No, I see the correlation.
Yeah,
right.
And in fact, they do a fantastic job of reaching out to their fans.
Yeah,
they're always really funny. I love talking to those people. They're just great. And I think that that's a key part to building the fans and getting patronage. I think that's absolutely right. It's like, they do a great job of this, and I just want to support them because they're so great. Not even necessarily because their content is great. Their content may not be. I don't know. But I like them, and I like who they are, and I like what they stand for. And I think we see that over and over and over again. People are willing to be patrons despite all else. It's really amazing.
Right. And if Phil can create something around going back specific of the marketing of his film, their film, is there something in maybe using Tilt the Town to create an event for the screening of the film? So maybe you're bringing together people from Tilt the Town, or you're having it, you've created the virtual, now we're going to have the real world. Whatever that might be, create an event around the film for screenings, which is what Kevin Smith has done. He's it's $60 a ticket or whatever to watch his film right now. But he's Kevin Smith. So maybe Phil could do something like that, and that will help sort of spread the word. get that out, create an event, which we've all talked about before.
Yeah, because the event cannot be pirated. The
The
event
event
is
cannot
unique.
be pirated,
Yeah.
and that's where you might make money. And people say, "Hey, Phil's going to be there, Julie and Jess are going to be there. I'm going to get this. I'm going to be part of that, and I'm going to pay $40 or whatever. I'm going to go to that. It's going to be a fun night."
Mhm.
And that may be the way that revenue can be generated.
I could easily see them doing a film tour with it.
Yeah.
In fact, doing a film tour to all the
All the-
locations.
Right. All the locations, and then having those people who have supported them until the town support them more
Yeah.
in getting a local venue to screen the film.
See, I told you we would solve the problem. Peer to peer solved.
And then you
Done.
Phil, 10%.
That's how you make money.
Only 10%. We're even better than some of the other sites.
Hey, we're free.
We're free. 10%.
Okay. Fine.